Hi, I'm Evita Myriam. Welcome to the third workshop of the Chrysalis program. Some of you have received it as a gift, but there are other people waiting for recordings, and some have been paying for it. Now, in this session, in this workshop, our theme is uncertainty before transformation, or uncertainty toward transformation, or the uncertainty not before, but as part of transformation. And why is it so? We're going to talk about uncertainty because uncertainty is something that we all go through when we are in a crisis. Now, the masters, the pranic healing masters especially, have taught us that there are three major life crises in life. We have the first one around 20 to 25 years old. That is when we are recalibrating, right? So this is how it works. Oh, excuse me. Pause. Do you have paper and pen? That's very important to get paper and pen. And then we'll invoke. All right. And then we will invoke. Let's invoke. To the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother. To all the great, great ones. To my beloved teacher, spiritual teacher. If you do have a spiritual teacher, think of him or her and smiling at you. To all spiritual teachers, to all great gurus, to all the ascended masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and to our higher soul, our divine self, we humbly invoke your divine guidance. To the angels of knowledge, of love, of psychotherapy, to the angels that will show us our path, our purpose, to the angels of divine guidance. We all have angels of divine guidance, of love and of protection. To our higher soul, our divine self, we humbly invoke your divine guidance. We humbly invoke that you help us gently, safely dive into our subconscious mind, look deep into our hearts, discover the treasures of our purpose, and find and destroy the obstacles to our growth and happiness. We thank you for blessing us with the ability to tolerate uncertainty, to live in uncertainty without suffering, with eternal gratitude, deep respect, and in full faith and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. Amen. Om Tatastu. All right. Okay. So, as I was saying earlier, we have three major life crises. Now, when we are born, in reality, I mean, most life coaches will not say that, except pranic healers or hatha yogis. We are in reality, whether people believe it or not, whether you're a pranic healer or not, we have many, many incarnations. Lord Jesus was asking his students, who do they say I was? That's obviously because all the spiritual people of all times know about incarnation. They know about energy healing. They know about meditation. They all know Kundalini meditation. They all know union with the soul secrets. They all know manifestation. They all have known for millions of years. It's one secret doctrine, one truth going throughout the history of humanity. So, of course, Jesus knew we have reincarnations, and he was asking, who do they say I was? And his students were answering, some say you were Prophet Elijah, some say you were whoever, I don't know, whoever else. So this is in the Bible. We're just not being Religion, the church doesn't want us to know this. They're totally against our knowing all the truth. And I don't believe all the priests know. They don't. They don't believe in anything else other than they have been indoctrinated with. So for sure we reincarnate. And when we reincarnate, we are advanced. All of us, all of humanity almost is advanced, right? We are all souls. So, but of course, the people in this seminar are all more advanced than the average human being. And when we incarnate, what happens is what incarnates is not a baby. What incarnates is a magnificent, huge soul that enters, downloads a little body, right? At first, it downloads a light, then it is you know, sperm, into an ovary, then it is a union, and then it is one cell, and then from this cell, as much as energy as soul fits in the cell fits, and then we grow our body, and we contain the soul, and then of course we have other bodies, the emotional, the astral, which are more subtle bodies, and the energy body, they're more subtle, and they also fit a lot of soul energy, but really they're so much smaller than the totality of the soul. So when we incarnate, we are remembering, we are in wherever we have been in the inner world, serving our master, our teacher, our guru, our ascended master, our chohan, serving someone, a teacher, spiritual, the Christ, and we're serving, or the Buddha, the Muhammad, we're serving, and then we are reincarnating. When we reincarnate, we know exactly who we are. We remember our past incarnations. We know that we have thousands of parents. We know that we have thousands of siblings and friends. Up there are all our loved ones. Down here are all our karmic debts. It's like this. That's why we rarely meet people with whom we can connect. And most people, it's like, why am I so unaligned? Why am I in the wrong incarnation? I'm in the wrong life. It's a punishment. All the people I know, that I don't fit anywhere. I don't fit in a group. I don't fit. Many of us face this and have felt this. And this is because we're not here to have fun. We're here to evolve, but also to have fun. But mainly we're here to work out our karmic debt and produce much good for humanity, and mainly to acquire experience for the soul so that our soul grows. So our number one responsibility is toward our soul, toward ourselves. But because we are incarnated into the most guilt-oriented, most guilt-producing, and self-limitation oriented, self-punishment system on earth, in every country, almost everywhere. You see this, that pleasure, happiness, joy, success, all these things, they are like sins, and you must have them, but they're not good. And we have to pay. We feel that we have to pay somehow. So that's why we suffer. We are limited. And it's like we're trying to remember ourselves through our limitations. But when we are babies, we remember. We remember everything. And it's very difficult because we haven't developed our nervous system yet. We can't even scratch our nose, and we may have parents who are angry, abusive. A baby needs Zen meditation all day. And then even when you bring it to reality, to eat, to do things that are difficult, you know how difficult it is for a being that is up there suddenly to be fed. Perhaps he doesn't want to eat. Perhaps he doesn't want anymore. It's like, and the parents are not all yogis, right? And patient. Even yogis are not always patient. So it's very difficult to grow, right? But when we are children, when we're like 5 years old, we start having these having these visions, all of us in our heart. We have these dreams, these desires, some people want to have some kind of, they imagine themselves to be authors, to be in a beach house in front of the sea writing a magnificent book. And they know they can do it. They know they have it in them. Some other people, they're like, want to be doctors since they're babies. You can see some, or artists, you can see who they are from very, very young age. Then what happens is because they are born in a family, we forget, we forget because our family puts all their expectations on us. Not every family is trying to um, to help. I mean, parents' duty is to help their children discover who they are. And most parents, they do not do this. That's not what they do. What they do is they tell you who you are, and then in the end, you forget. Right. So when we are around 25, which is our first life crisis, it can be at 20, it depends on how much you suffer. Sometimes it's earlier because you can't handle it anymore. The pressure, you get into the first of the three crises. So the purpose of crisis, although it is dangerous, right? And especially for the young, because they have been so misguided and there's so many dangers for the young today, but it is an opportunity. So the crisis is a way to recalibrate. Every crisis of our lives is a recalibration to the alignment with the soul. Every happiness, prosperity, love, being in love, meeting amazing people, being in the flow, being creative, being joyful, being in meditation is when we are aligned with our soul. So you could just say, union with the soul meditation, 3 times a week would solve it. But it's not possible because life presents with obstacles, right? All right. So there are 3 phases that may last a long time. Each crisis may last a long time. And the first time you recalibrate, like your parents want you to be taking over their business or to be whatever secretary, and then you're like making your evolution and you're saying, no, I want to be an artist, and you do it, you try, you make it. And then you go in a path. Then after some years, around 50, you have another crisis. And then around 63, the soul decides whether it will keep you or not, in reality. If you don't want to be there, if you're not growing, if you're not producing anything for anyone, if you're not at all, perhaps the soul will extract the experience, and because it will feel that, you don't want to be there anymore. Now, most of us are in the second crisis, but the first crisis is also very intense. The second crisis is when we have lived and worked and done things, but then we want to change. Now, most people in the age of 50, by the age of 50, that is around then is your second crisis or more, they have changed already a lot, like from since they were 25 and 30. They have changed because when we're younger, we're more crazy, we're less compassionate, let's say. When we become older, we become more in service of humanity, more compassionate, kinder, wiser, more mature. We want more stability, and many of us change completely. It's like 2 incarnations within one. But still, that doesn't mean that we have found our purpose and we are happy. So we enter this deep dissatisfaction. And this deep dissatisfaction produces uncertainty. Now, if we didn't have this society, and if the planet was not as it is, and humanity was not as it is, and we didn't have Hollywood and all these lies, and we lived today, in the now, and we had organized life not to be around survival or making money or success, but it was about experiencing the moment and the day, every day, and cultivating deep relationships, etc., it will be a totally different situation, right? Our crisis will be different. In any case, we do all experience uncertainty where we are blocked and when we are in crisis. And according to Jung, uncertainty is not something we need to correct. It's not a problem. It's not a flaw, although it's very painful and very difficult. But it is a very fertile state, which is essential to transformation, self-discovery, and change, and psychological growth, maturity. And maturity, according to Jung, dictates, which is very difficult, right? Because you will have change when you have crisis. Dictates that you don't seek, in crisis, in uncertainty, first of all, we suffer a lot, right? We suffer a lot. We have a lot of suffering. And one of the things we have to learn is to live with uncertainty without suffering. That is very important. I think only now I have managed that, you know. I think perhaps last year or this year, and I'm 63 years old, so it took me a long time trying to manage that. It's a really difficult thing to do because as uncertainty, and it depends, of course, we may enter extreme uncertainty, like life-threatening situations or survival, the requirement to find money to pay your rent or to heal yourself or to whatever. And then as uncertainty is great. Or for example, if one of my pets or if one of your children is sick, you cannot be happy. This is like this situation where you can't be happy if some conditions in your life are not good. Now we have to learn to not suffer through such situations because it doesn't help us in any way. It's easy to say, but it's not easy to accomplish. But once we understand that we are magical beings, we are divine beings, we are the soul, and everything happens in a very magical way. And whenever we think negatively and we give our time to despair, then things get worse. But whenever we seek solutions and stillness, within the stillness, we receive answers. When we have stillness, then this idea comes, but perhaps this will work out. Perhaps this will happen. And then this happens, and you're like, oh my God, it's amazing. And we have to seek solutions. We have to be brave, courageous, and the opposite of fear is faith. So we have to be faithful. Faithful, you don't have to be dogmatic and believing in a believer, but faithful in yourself and in the universe, in a higher being, a higher power. Now, when we are not believing in a higher power, we get depressed. That doesn't mean that when we get depressed, we don't believe. It doesn't go vice versa. In any case, uncertainty is a great opportunity for change. It is what comes just before change. It is what comes just before the next phase. It is impossible to not have the next phase. It will come. The next phase will come. We will make it. We will change. So what I want you to do before we continue on analyzing uncertainty and seeing what is the important thing that we must understand about it and what to do, and before we do our workshop, I would like to write to a couple of things only about how you were, how you have changed. And I want you to try to remember your first big crisis, when you thought you would never get out of it, when you were blocked, when you were perhaps adolescent, and you didn't know what would happen. And then, Deus ex machina, some amazing event happened, or something happened, or someone invited you to go and study, or something happened, and your life changed, and things changed. And your life that was here moved to a totally different direction. So I want you to write who you were before and who you became afterwards. And what was the event that triggered this, right? I want you to remember. It's very important to remember, because when we realize how much we have changed, then we can realize that we will change again. We will not be stuck forever. I will give you a couple of minutes to do that while I look at my notes. I want you to also identify what was your first crisis about. Was it about purpose, seeking your purpose? Was it about seeking a location where you want to live, or both, or a relationship, or your career? And how did it unfold? What happened? Some people have had extreme things happen to them, and then they got out of it. And I want you to remember also, when you were younger, right? I mean, that doesn't apply to Agapi because she's 23. But Agapi may think in the recent years, let's say before COVID, all your life, what was your most creative, what was your creative self doing? Was it playing music, meditating, being a seeker, writing, painting, doing sports? What was it that made you be in the flow and be creative? For example, you may be a fantastic actor, but you enter in the flow when you read a book. You read a book and you slow down. You enter the book, you know, or then you go into electronics and everything is fast. It's just like you give your awareness somewhere else. But when you read a book, especially if it's a novel, literature, then we enter slowness. We slow down. Because if it has a fast pace, a novel is not nice. It's not a good novel. Good novels are slower. They put you in every moment. So, for example, these are activities that help us be in a slower mode, creative mode. It opens up our creativity and it slows us down. And then I also want you to identify when was your last blockage, because after COVID, many people are blocked because of the stress of the world situation, And we are learning how to live with this uncertainty of this world situation. But still, when was the last time you were deeply, truly creative? Okay, for Agapi, who was thrown out from the internet, now you're
Yeah,
back.
sorry, I was dropped out for a sec.
I got it. So I was asking, when was your last blockage? How long ago did you get blocked? If you're blocked, right? If you're not in creativity, if you're blocked, if you're seeking, if you're in uncertainty, if you are before a great change, there is no way you're in uncertainty and you're not before a great change. It will happen. As much as you have changed all your life, you will change in the
Mhm.
future as well. It's up to you where you want to take yourself. As we've said in our previous seminars, workshops, your life will be lived by default or you will design it. I mean, we can all imagine. I cannot actually, but I mean, there are ways to just waste life and just get old and decrepit and do nothing. And there are ways to enjoy life and enjoy every day. It doesn't mean to be successful and super rich or to have an amazing family, but to enjoy life, to to live every day and to be complete. All right. So I want you to identify your last blockage. Perhaps it relates to COVID or whatever, but I want you to identify what is the lesson you have learned from all this blockage. Have you learned, for example, that going and isolating yourself in nature doesn't work out? Or have you learned that people are the same everywhere? That's what I learned by living alone on an island. That that is for Sisi, for example, who lives in the most beautiful island. And it is not all the time, of course, in the summer, which is perfect. But it's like I lived winter and summer on an island. And I was feeling the first year was amazing, and the second year was amazing. Then I started to feel that the people there are really what happens, and this is everywhere we are, wherever we become known. If it is a small community, we become known, and others put their labels on us. And because we're foreigners, especially on islands, and especially in the countryside where it's a closed community, there is so much, although they may be jealous or admiring or whatever, they will be gossiping. They will not like the person who comes from outside. They may like very much, but they don't know it. They will not express this. They will express gossip, right? Because people don't assemble to say, look how beautiful she is. Look how talented. She's amazing, huh? She's fantastic. No, if they want to talk about someone, they're going to assemble, they're going to gossip and say negative things, which is sad, really, because they could say positive things. Like Asimina and Sisi were saying about me earlier when I was washing my glasses and I could hear them. Thank you, girls. All right. So, uh, so what happens is what we learn in small places, when we live in small places, is that uh, people are the same everywhere. They're the same. They're the same in the big cities, in metropolis, they're the same in villages. Really. The people are all the same. It's like seeing the same people, same types of people, the greedy one, the kind one. The thing is to know who you are and to live in completion within, not to be living life in order to please others. So there are so many layers we have to shed, like a skin, of a snake that has to come off. We have to really shed all this uh, need for approval, this need for approval by others. And in order to live uncertainty well, we have to develop a certain kind of desire for life and poetry, poetic life, a poetic daily life. We have to live life. We have to decide that we will live with the uncertainty, that the mature thing to do is not to be seeking within the uncertainty and the crisis where to go, what to do, where to run to. Although, it's nice to travel and it's nice to change. And although usually in the end we will change, but the mature thing is to see how will I live now, today? What is the next thing that I need to do? For example, Jung, he says, the following things, right? That you should be doing the next right thing when you have uncertainty. Carl Jung, he was amazing, an amazing psychologist. He taught that in times of intense psychological messiness or confusion, We should give up obsessing over grand destinations. Instead, one must focus on doing the next immediate task with diligence and devotion. Daniel, don't listen. Close your ears, because I would like him to come to visit Greece. But in any case, it's true. You can visit Greece, but you can go and travel, but you define this as travel, adventure, pleasure, not as the need to 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 make yourself happy through changing. It's not the place that will change you. That what will change you, what will make you happy, is how you will feel in the place, and you will carry yourself wherever you go. And even if the first day or two is going to be amazing in a new place, after a while, we are the same people. So we need to learn to drop uncertainty, to live in uncertainty. All right. The other thing that is very important that Jung said, if the path before you is clear, it's clear, you're probably on someone else's path, which is wonderful. He says, predictable paths reflect collective expectations. Authentic living requires confronting ambiguity and forging your own journey. So if you want to be authentic, if you want to be yourself, if you want to be happy in a lasting way, you have to confront ambiguity. You have to forge your own journey. You cannot be measuring your decisions by other people's decisions, by people who have gone this way before. Nobody can tell you what is the best thing for you. No one can show you the best way for you. Other people's failures are not indicative of your failure or success. And we have to stop comparing, really. This is very important. Almost our entire suffering comes from comparing with others. And also another thing that which is wonderful that Jung said was that uncertainty allows the conscious and unconscious mind to collide. So we can learn, we are comfortable with ambiguity. We can hold opposing ideas in tension, which means we can assimilate, work them out, and be able to live with them without suffering. And this brings new insight and wholeness. And the other thing he said was we have to learn to embrace paradox, because there is, in all the things that we can, excuse me, define, there is a little and yet, that defines a lot of the truth within us. We have to learn to live with paradox. Paradox is the essence of life. You cannot have guidelines that are fixed. Excuse me. I don't know what's happening with my throat today. All right. So living with paradox and uncertainty is the true maturity. The true maturity. Learning to embrace ambiguity, to not have to know, to clarify everything. So many times when we're in crisis, we want to know everything. Why is this happening to me? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? This question by itself. I mean, I don't know if all the psychologists in the world will agree with me. I think nobody agrees with me on this. But I think because I've searched a lot, I believe personally, and you can find your own answer to this, right? You don't have to believe me. You have to know yourself. You know best. Each one of us knows best. I believe that who am I is not the right question. We are who we are. I am that which I am, right? So I discover if a bird knows it's a bird, it is impeding itself from flying freely. The moment you put a name to something, the moment you define something, it stops being that. It becomes limited. it stops being the experience of that. It stops being that which is complex and multicolored and multifaceted, and it becomes the label. I am good. I am intelligent. I am a life coach. I am an artist. I am this. No, we have to let go of this kind of seeking. Seeking your purpose is a different thing, because seeking your purpose shows you what you really like to do in life, right? You have to like your purpose. There's no way not to like your purpose. If you don't like your purpose, it's not your purpose. That's a different thing. But again, you can't seek your purpose through labels like, oh, my purpose. What is my purpose? I always wanted to do water skiing. That's all I want to do. Could I be a water skiing instructor? No. What are you talking about? That's not an intellectual. That's not an artist. That's not successful. How are you going to make money out of that? All these answers. I know. Once I met an old boyfriend of mine who was really very snobbish, and he said to me, he started to gossip, and he said to me, "You remember this guy? This guy was coming from a very, very old family in Greece. You know how he ended up?" Actually, we had coffee together with this ex-boyfriend of mine, and he was telling me about himself, that he wakes up every morning at 5:30. He goes to water ski. He loved to water ski. So he goes to water ski, then he goes home, he has breakfast, he has a shower, he wears a suit, and he goes to his office, right? And then after he described his perfect life, he showed me his wife's photograph. I thought it was from an advertisement, his wife and his children, and then he told me, this guy, remember this guy that we knew? Everyone was jealous of him because that guy was very good looking and very prosperous, and he came from one of the most amazing families. And he said, you know how he ended up? He ended up being a ski instructor in the Peloponnese, which is an area of Greece. And I said, amazing. He said, what? I said, look, you have to work all day. You have to kill yourself for money until the evening to be able to wake up at 5:30 and do what you like, which is skiing. He does it all day and he gets paid for it. And he was like, oh, I never thought of it like that. Because, we have to realize that status, money, and our image are major obstacles to our happiness. Major. If you have to find your purpose within the activities that you love. It cannot be far from what you love doing. So, about uncertainty, paradox again is very important. We have to be allowing for paradox, for ambiguity in relationships. How can you have, the inability to allow ambiguity in a relationship kills the relationship. The over definition of what are our limitations. Will you love me forever and all that? That's an extreme example. But what you can do, what can I do, and what we are allowed to do together. All this lack of ambiguity, lack of mystery, lack of all this lack of freedom. So in reality, a change and a transformation is not a transformation toward um, a lot of money. It's not a transformation toward a new love. It's not a transformation. It's a transformation toward freedom. And in the beginning of your change, when all your crises will have finished and you will have done something that will have moved you and you will have entered a new beginning and a new life, in the beginning it will be amazing because you will be free. And after a while, you will not be free anymore because you will be repeating the thought form of the beginning. You will not flow. So in reality, all of happiness is flowing. That's all it is. Happiness is flowing, is being in alignment with our higher soul. And so uncertainty is not something that we need to to eliminate. On the contrary, uncertainty is the ground where we can overcome our need to fix everything, our need to be fixated in a way of life, in a way of behavior, in patterns, in jobs, in work. Uncertainty is the most fertile ground because it can produce um, masterpieces. It can produce art. It can produce great programs. It can produce amazing creativity. So now I want us to do a little bit of purification, all right? And I want you to think first of your obstacles. Like, do you need approval from others so much? Do you really need approval? Or could you be doing really something that 100% for yourself without anyone's approval? And also, what is the deep fear of letting go and testing, trying to succeed to the level that you want, trying to go to the next phase, moving from where you are, doing something about, every day, for example, if we're in crisis, we wake up and we go through the same motions, waiting for time to pass until we until things change. That's not going to happen. This doesn't happen like that. Things don't change because we are on YouTube looking at videos and nothing we don't do. We have to act. We have to act within ourselves, which means we have to have contact with nature. We have to walk in nature. We have to have a notebook and write down our thoughts. We have to be genuine, authentic. We have to become creative and aligned again. So one of the factors that keeps us in the old glued, is fear. The fear, is sometimes it's safer to be glued in the old than to let go and try something new. So we have to let go of this because none of us is happy in the fear of moving. None of us. We have to move. And this move will happen through taking positive, intelligent action, right, toward the direction that our heart desires, while we live in a phase of uncertainty that doesn't allow us sometimes, to enjoy life. We just have to accept it, that life is not a fairy tale. Life will have a lot of uncertainty, and it's not going to end forever one day when we become rich or when we find our life partner. Uncertainty is the stuff, the fabric of life. And that's what's beautiful about it, because we can always change it by lighting a candle, by putting some music on, by saying, I am sure that things will work out 100%. I know it. Just by speaking, it's magic. Our voice, our words are magic, are the most potent magic there is. If we say positive things, we're casting positive spells in our lives. All right. Now, we're going to purify. We're going to purify of our uncertainty and, or rather, fear of uncertainty, our blockages, whatever blocks us and keeps us in inertia, inert within our uncertainty. Whatever makes us feel that uncertainty cannot make you breathe, whatever makes you think that there's something wrong with you, there's nothing wrong with you. This is what life is about. Everybody goes through crisis. And especially after COVID, everybody goes through crisis every day because our planet is in crisis. Our civilization, our humanity is in crisis. We have to acknowledge that and drop the facade of perfection. And of course, there are people who are super rich and getting richer right now. They're happy in their vacation, but they are not happy all the time. They also have to face their higher soul. and the subconscious mind, the clash between the two. All right, so let us just do the workshop and the energy work. So take a deep breath of inner peace. Hold your breath and exhale all the stress and worry from every cell of your body. Hold your breath again. And now inhale strength and joy. Hold, exhale fear, weakness. Inhale joy. Hold, exhale sadness, depression. Inhale happiness and peace. Hold, exhale distortion of truth and unrealistic expectations. Now, above your head, there is a big ball of light. And in that big, brilliant white light, there is a little bit of a contour of purple, light purple. And within it, it's scintillating, it's very brilliant. This is very brilliant light. And it's going to flow through our bodies. Now, I want you to visualize almost as if, I don't know if you're good at visualizations, close your eyes, relax, and try to see the light increasing in the room with your eyes closed. Try to see that this light is flowing into your head, filling up your hair, your scalp, your bones, your skull, your brain, your eyes, your sinuses. You know, the sinuses are very big organs. Your sinuses, your nose, your ears, your gums, your teeth, your tongue, your lips, your cheeks, your chin, your skin, your muscles, the back of your head, your entire head is flooded by brilliant white light. Just see that brilliant white light go in every part of the head. As it is in your brain, it is disintegrating all inflammation from the brain. Your brain is healed. It disintegrates all negative thought forms from your eyes, from whatever you have seen in films, etc. It cleans your eyes, front and back. It cleans the optic nerve. We humbly thank the angels for cutting all unwholesome unauthorized links from our eyes, from our brain, and from every other part of our head. As the brilliant white light flows down our throat, it disintegrates all fear and worry related to uncertainty and fear of transformation, of change. All this undeservedness, so much of undeservedness lives in the secondary throat chakra. All this undeservedness, this lack of worthiness, this fear that we are not as we should be, and we are exactly as we should be. We are unique. All we have to do is discover our uniqueness, and we are all unique. So this, our throat and the back of our neck, the medulla oblongata, the lower part of your brain, and the the back of your neck with the spine beginning at the base, and all the vertebrae of your spine and all your spinal cord and all your spine are filled with brilliant white light. The brilliant white light flows from the very, very big source above your head, into your head, into your throat and back of your neck, and it flows down your shoulders, filling up your shoulders with brilliant white light and removing, dissolving, transmuting all burden. All your burdens are disintegrated under the brilliant white light. Thank you, healing angels, for healing our brain, the back of our neck, and our shoulders. The brilliant white light flows down your hands, your elbows, your wrists, your palms, and your fingers, and flows out of your, excuse me, out of your hands and into the earth. It flows into your torso, filling up your torso. Your torso becomes white, luminous, brilliant. Your heart, your lungs, your thymus, thyroid and thymus gland, your gallbladder, stomach, pancreas, liver, spleen. In the back, all the muscles of your back, your spine, and left and right of your spine are purified. Your kidneys are purified. The epinephrines are purified. The base of your spine is purified. All your vertebrae are healed. They're purified. They're placed in the right position. Your spine is straightened but relaxed. The back of your neck is set properly, straightened and relaxed. Your chest for the men, your breasts for the women, your armpits are filled with brilliant white light. All unwholesome and unauthorized links from our entire torso, and especially our armpits, our nipples, our heart, our lungs, are disconnected, disposed of properly by the angels. The brilliant white light flows down, it heals the pancreas, healing it, purifying it of all anger and frustration. And our stomach is purified also of all sadness, worry, and the problems of daily life and pain, emotional pain. Our liver is purified of all its vices, of anger, hatred, jealousy, greed. It has many, many vices. And our spleen is purified of all negative energies and emotions, psychic energies, and all unwholesome and unauthorized links are cut, extracted, and disconnected, and disposed of properly by the angels. The brilliant white light has filled up our entire head, neck, and torso and hands, and it's moving down inside our abdomen, in our thin and long and fat, I don't remember how it is in English, intestines. All the intestines are purified. And our reproductive organs are purified. Also, all our glands are purified, the ovaries for the women and the testicles for men. And the lymphatic system is purified. Our lymphatic fluid is drained safely. Our blood is cleaned. Our excessive blood sugar is purified of our blood. All its energy is disintegrated and disposed of properly by the angels. Our lymphatic system, our endocrinal system is healed, purified, and balanced. Our digestive system is purified and balanced. Our reproductive organs are purified. All unwholesome, unauthorized links are cut, extracted, and our entire reproductive system is free from unwholesome connections. Our reproductive organs are purified of all negative psychic energies. Our thighs, our buttocks and thighs are filled with brilliant white light. Our knees, all our memories, emotions, negative thoughts are extracted. Our calves are purified, and the soles of our feet, our toes are purified. The brilliant white light has filled our entire bodies. All fears, all anxiety and stress is transmuted into brilliant white light. The brilliant white light flows out in thick rays of light from every cell of our body. It goes out into our lighting up our etheric body, our energy body. We are strong, we are clean. There is no fear of change, no fear of uncertainty, no fear of ambiguity, no comparisons, no low self-esteem, no desire to be like others, to be loved, to be liked, to be approved. Freedom. Freedom is flowing into our bodies. The freedom to be ourselves. The freedom sometimes to be irreverent. The freedom to be telling the truth. The freedom to be seeing the truth. The freedom to escape the fairy tale and the lies and to live a beautiful, beautiful, magical life. We are filled up with brilliant, purifying light. It is transmuting all our energies of low self-esteem, anxiety, stress, undeservedness, anger, hatred, fear, poverty consciousness, and depression. Our entire bodies are filled with brilliant light, and which extends into our energy bodies and then into our astral bodies. All negative emotions are disintegrated. And then this light goes further out to our mental bodies. All negative thought forms, thoughts, whatever is keeping us small, shrunk, afraid to live in the present moment. Procrastination, depression are disintegrated and expelled from our entire system. So it is. The brilliant white light is filling up all our bodies. I want you to feel the contours of your mental body, 2 meters in front, 2 in the back, 2 to your left, 2 to your right, 2 meters below your feet. That's about 6 feet. And 2 meters above. So it's about 6 feet to the front, back, left, right, and below your feet, a sphere, very subtle, our mental body. Now, I want you to visualize yourself acquiring the characteristics that you need. Joy, happiness, without being happy all the time, without being happy when others expect you to be happy. True, lasting, deep happiness. Visualize it. Visualize your life being joyful. Visualize yourself living in uncertainty in a very mature and beautiful way, not waiting for things to change, but changing things by living the day to day in a beautiful way. Now, I want you to visualize 3 years from now. You can do immense, endless things in 3 years, but you don't have to. All you have to do is live within yourself. within your real self. I want you to find the qualities that you have. Remember, who are you? What are you? Are you kind? Are you loving? Are you intelligent? Are you creative? Do you like ice cream? Whatever you are, think of who you are. And just, I'm giving you a minute to think of all your positive, uh, aspects of your qualities, positive qualities. Like, are you good? Are you kind? Are you helpful? Are you, do you want what is good for humanity? Do you want what's good for animals, for plants, for the planet? Are you honest? Well, we're never totally honest to ourselves, but we're basically honest to others. Are you, living a life that is not stealing, not killing, not lying, a life that is wholesome? Now that you've seen these traits, I want you to add what you would like to have. Visualize yourself. Perhaps you need more silence. And when I say silence, I don't mean not to speak, but more stillness, more inner silence in your daily life. Perhaps you need more freedom from habits like electronics, going in Instagram, Facebook. Perhaps you can spend the day walking in nature, going to the beach, writing, cooking without distractions, allowing the subconscious to become conscious, the problems to surface, and to seek solutions. I want you to visualize the traits and qualities that you can have, you can possess. And I want you to visualize yourself having them. I'm going to give you 1 minute to visualize yourself as you would like to be, as you can be, as you have the right to be. Visualize that. Now, I want you to visualize your creativity. Are you going to do something creative? Are you going to do something new? Imagine yourself being creative and feel what it means for you to be creative. Is it to find the perfect play to act in, to write a beautiful novel, to write poetry, to make a painting, to learn something new, to study something that you've always wanted to study? Now with online universities, you can really study whatever you want. Visualize yourself being creative. Feel it. Perhaps you're afraid of being creative, afraid that rivers will come out, afraid of all that birth that creativity is. It's like a birth. It's very painful. It comes out. It's like what comes out always when you're being creative, whatever you're doing, is also the pain, the trauma, and all that you have gone through. So it's very, very difficult to be creative. But once it starts coming, then that's the only thing worth living for. That's how it feels. So visualize yourself being creative or having completed something in a creative way, something in art or in the sciences or research. It can be sports. Sports are creative too. You can be one with your soul in sports. So I want you only to visualize this. This is the only thing that brings us out of crisis. It is first when we're just keep your eyes closed for a moment. When we're in uncertainty, we will be tested. We have to define what we want, right? We did that in the last session. We define what we want, the state that we want to be in, how we want to live, but not details. And then we have to learn how to be positive about it and not to block it by our thoughts and doubts. Then, as it is coming toward us, but we haven't seen it yet, we will be tested. That is the time when we start seeing it happening, we must not become more lazy, more inert, more negative. We must not, share it with people. We must not ruin the energy. We must let the energy complete itself. And we must keep working toward our goal. Now, I want you to visualize that you're working toward your goal and you're very uncertain, but you can handle it. You don't know what is the right thing to do, but you can handle it. You can handle. You're beginning to love to live in uncertainty because you know that uncertainty is a time when you're free. You're like an adolescent. Whereas then you will go to another fixed situation, whatever it is, that will become again stressful. So I want you to visualize yourself embracing that freedom, the creativity, the change, the uncertainty. Embrace it. I want you, with your eyes closed, to visualize that you are hugging yourself. You're putting your arms around you and you are embracing the best part of you that you're always leaving behind for worry and for other negative things. And finally, you're like saying to yourself, you're amazing. You can do whatever you want. Just relax and accept the uncertainty of today. And we will get the inspiration. We will get the vision. We will know what to do. We will be guided through dreams, through ideas, through thoughts, through visions. We will know. Embrace your uncertainty and imagine yourself being exiting, taking a step out of uncertainty. But it's not towards certainty, it is toward a new phase of life that will take you so much further than any other before. Now I want you to inhale your visualizations with your abdomen, of course, and hold and exhale this to every cell of your body. Now inhale again all this vision of yourself being authentic, being yourself, not being better, being you. And then hold and exhale it to all your surroundings, to your city, to your country, to the earth. And one more time, inhale all this beautiful energy of completion, of happiness where you are, and of the courage to take steps to a new life without fear. And exhale it to all the people who know you and to all time in the future. Exhale. Now, if you want, repeat after me, loud or in your inside. I now release all fear for uncertainty, all fear and anxiety and rush within my crisis and my blockages, all need to resolve and decide everything now, all need to live within definitions. I release this. And I release all inner obstacles that prevent me from being in alignment with my soul, in the flow of life, and in the acceptance of the magnitude of prosperity, of love, of joy, of creativity, of miracles, of whatever my soul has in store for me, that I will attract the moment I start recognizing them. I release all obstacles that prevent me from being in the flow. Now, so it is. Now, I want you to ground yourselves, put your hands on your knees and press your knees slightly and feel the energy going deep into the earth. May Mother Earth be blessed with divine light, love, with rejuvenation, regeneration. May Mother Earth be healed. May all beings be healed. May all beings release their stress, worry, anxiety, fear. May angels take these energies and transmute them into joy and goodwill and love and success for all beings. May Mother Earth be blessed. May all the air, water, and earth, the minerals, the plants, the animals, humans, and angels be blessed. May our life plan be blessed. May our every step on this earth be blessed. May the earth be blessed by every step we take. I release all my excess energy of stress and worry. Feel the soles of your feet. Release deep roots deep into the earth. I release all the excess energy from my entire body that I cannot handle deep into the earth. I'm rooted into Mother Earth. I'm part of Mother Earth. I'm not floating. I'm rooted. To the Supreme Being, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to my teacher, whoever your teacher is, imagine him or her smiling at you. To all the great ones, holy gurus, holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, the angels of love, the angels of purpose, of prosperity, of good health, of happiness, of joy, of alignment with the soul, this timeless condition of the now that extends time. To the angels that know our mission, that know our life story, that know our purpose and plan, to all spiritual helpers, to healing angels, to our angel of light, love, and power and protection, and to all spiritual helpers, to our higher soul, our divine self, we thank you for your divine healing. We thank you for your divine guidance. We thank you for assigning angels to heal us of all our fears toward uncertainty and to guide us gently toward the new phase of our lives where we will be in awe, observing and discovering our amazing qualities rather than describing, fixating, and limiting who we are. We thank you with eternal gratitude, deep respect, and in full faith and love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it. Om Tatastu. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.